Pizza, America's pie that's cheesy, baked, and covered with an assortment of toppings. We all know pizza originated in Italy, so how did it become so popular here? What is now a very well attended and busy restaurant started out in rural Kansas by two brothers who got a small cash loan from their
Pizza
mother
Hut is the
for their
place that
business,
brought
and
people
now
from
it's the
all over
largest
the
pizza
country
restaurant in
to
the
try
world.
their delicious pizza. The restaurant has been successful for 57 years and grew to almost 300 locations in the first 10 years of being open. Today, Pizza Hut has more than 11,000 locations in the world, with 6,000 buildings in the U.S.
Okay, Pizza Hut started back in 1958. It was started by two brothers, Frank and Dan Carney. And what was really neat about Pizza Hut is they bought this little house in Wichita, Kansas, and they had a roof. And the roof was only so big, and they were pondering on how to name the business. They knew pizza was going to be in the first part of it, and the house looked like a, kind of like a hut, and that's how they came up with the name Pizza Hut. And like in less than 5 years after that first Pizza Hut opened, there was like 45 Pizza Huts franchised throughout the United States. So that's how it's gotten started.
The brothers that had never owned any sort of business and never even made a pizza before opened their restaurant with a loan of $600 from their mother. Their first building was originally only a 600 square foot bar. The Carneys partnered with a friend named John Bender to help their business run more smoothly. Mr. Bender taught the brothers how to make dough, sauce, and add the right amount of toppings to make a perfect pizza. The only flaw was he couldn't remember the recipe for the dough. So instead, the first pizzas crafted at Pizza Hut were made with a French bread dough instead of pizza dough.
Well, I'm originally from Hannibal, Missouri. Hannibal is on the Mississippi River, and it's home of Samuel Clemens, who is Mark Twain. And when the Pizza Hut got built down there, I was a teenager, and I would ride my bike on the foundation before they even built the hut. And then about 5-6 years later, I was, I'm going to say 20, 21. I graduated from high school, and I started to work there at Pizza Hut as their janitor. I had a real job. I worked for William Underwood, a little guy with a the deviled hand with a little pitchfork. But I worked for William Underwood, and I went in there and I was just helping them, clean the building. And they asked me one week to come in and make pizza, so I did. A month later, they asked me to run a shift, and I did. And from then on, it's been awesome. Well, everything. I'm in charge of the building maintenance, keeping everything running. I'm in charge of all the personnel. I hire all the personnel that walks through the door. That all the staff members in here has gone through me. I'm in charge of food ordering, customer service, delivery. Of course, there's money involved, so you have to take care of the financials. Just basically, I'm in charge of all the store's operation, everything.
There are many jobs besides the manager that need to be filled in each Pizza Hut building. Here are a few important jobs required at Pizza Hut. The assistant manager, who fills in when the manager is absent. The cooks, who prepare the pizzas in the kitchens. The shift supervisors, who supervise the ongoings of the restaurant. The waiters and servers, who take the customer's order and bring them their food. And the delivery drivers, who deliver pizza and other orders to the customer's home. There have also been such cases where Pizza Hut has sponsored missions and delivered pizza to the astronauts in the International Space Station.
No, ma'am. It was the first store of Ivan and Rochelle Tennyson's dream to run restaurants. And Ivan and Rochelle ran the Fairfield Pizza Hut. And they've celebrated, it's been like 50 years now they've been in business. I have had the privilege of working for Pizza Hut for 40 years. And to be honest with you, I've never had to come to work yet. Yes, ma'am. The very first location was where the McDonald's is now. Okay? And it was there for several years. And the business grew so well here, they moved it down to where the Hy-Vee gas station was. And it was just a little Pizza Hut. It wasn't anything big. And before I became manager of it, they had just added on to it. And they made it bigger. And after they did that, I became the manager of it. I was manager of it for like maybe 15 years. And then they added delivery, so they added on to it again. And then about 5 years ago, Hy-Vee decided they wanted to expand their operation, so they bought that building out, and we built this brand new store. And because of that, we have wings now, and a whole, all different kinds of different things on the menus. We have desserts, and it's endless. It just keeps growing.
Like many restaurants, Pizza Hut buildings moved to new locations throughout the town they are located to boost their business. There are also more Pizza Hut locations in more populated cities. For example, in Los Angeles, California, the second largest city in the U.S., there are 30 different Pizza Hut buildings, and all have moved locations at least once. As to a town like Fairfield, a much less populated city, we only have one.
Well, to be honest with you, being a part of a national chain, they have national advertising, so we're on TV, which really helps promote our new products. The Pizza Hut company makes all the products that we have. They do all of the research and development, so everything that we have that at Pizza Hut is a product that they have researched. They have done groups on, get a lot of people in, and they all try the product, and they decide from that point on if it's going to progress. All the products here is all, standardized. The products we make here would be the same products you would find in any Pizza Hut across the nation. The disadvantages that I've seen working for this national chain is some of the changes that have taken place. Pizza Hut has always been known to have a red roof. Anywhere you go, you could always tell a Pizza Hut by its red roof and the big white lettering, Pizza Hut. You could always see that. Well, when that Pizza Hut was tore down, you'll never see another red roof again in Fairfield. There will never be another red roof Pizza Hut. This is what you'll see now. This is their new building design. Is change good? I don't know. The other disadvantage I see to it is the roof was a signature item. The red roof was signature. It said, "This is Pizza Hut." This is us. We had another signature item called Cavatini. Now, as young as you are, you probably never heard of Cavatini. But Cavatini was 4 different kinds of noodles, and we cooked it every morning, and we made them, and people loved Cavatini. It was like Cavatini Supreme, Cavatini with meat sauce, meatball, and then with the pasta line, the Cavatini line, you could make it any way people wanted it, and it was real simple to do. Those 2 signature items have done away with, and that's really the disadvantage.
In 1977, Pizza Hut partnered with PepsiCo and made $436 million in that year alone. Pizza Hut was then sold to PepsiCo at the end of the year. Since 1977, Pizza Hut has partnered with other restaurants to boost sales. In 2013, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut came together to form Kentucky Hut.
Even though Pizza Hut's history is very fascinating, it was the pizza that made people want to go eat there. Besides the basic pizza, which consisted of dough covered with sauce and cheese, new types of pizza began popping up, some being named after the place they originated. In 1980, Pizza Hut came out with its first style of pizza, the pan pizza. In a pan pizza, the dough is baked with a thick crust in a cast iron skillet and uses a very high oven temperature.
Absolutely. The the good part about Pizza Hut is they've researched everything. We have spec charts, and there are certain ways that we make. There are certain ways we make our sauce in the morning. There are certain ways we have to cut our green peppers and onions. There are certain ways that when the dough is made, there's a certain way that that dough has to be set. The pan pizza, when we make that dough, it's flat, and we set it in one of these it's a big old box, and it gets warm. It gets to be between 95 and 100 degrees, and it gets the yeast going in the dough, and it makes it really poofy, and that makes that pan dough, and that's what makes it so well. There is a certain procedure to doing that. You have to follow it or you won't have a good pizza. Then when it comes to the make table, there's cups that we use for both cheese and meats, and then we have visual specking. You look up at a picture and says, okay, for 3 toppings, this is how many green peppers to go on it, and then you sprinkle it on, and that's how we make our pizzas. And then at the very end, when the pizza's made, you look it over, make sure it's right, you put it on the oven. The oven is timed. It takes 8.5 minutes for a pizza to cook. You put it on this end, it comes through the oven, comes out this end, and it's golden brown. You can't make a mistake. So it's pretty foolproof.
In 1983, the personal pan pizza was created. This pizza was made for just one person with one topping. Then in 1988, what is known as the pan pizza's opposite was made, the hand-tossed pizza. The hand-tossed dough is stretched out and thinned, making the crust much smaller than the pan pizzas.
Well, Pizza Hut gets their ingredients from all over the United States. Some of it comes from in South America. Some comes from Thailand. Pineapple comes from Hawaii. We get a lot of the pineapple comes from Hawaii that we serve here. Mushrooms, I'm not real sure. Green peppers, onions, they all come from the United States. All the pork, beef, and Italian sausage, pepperoni, it's done by our local XL plant. That's where our pizza ham comes from. Pepperoni and some of the meats comes from the XL. Tumwa has a little bit to do with that. They make the pizza ham, I was told. So it comes from all over the United States and really parts of the world.
We hope you enjoyed our documentary on Pizza Hut.